Welcome to the Supreme Court Library's Legal Research using the Library video series. In this video, we will be showing you how to find legislation and legislative materials online. For more information about the Library's resources and services, visit the Library's website or contact us via email or our online form. Where do I find explanatory notes to a bill, or the second reading or explanatory speech? For more recent years, these can be easily located on the Queensland Parliament website. Go to Work of the Assembly, Bills and Legislation, Bills this Parliament. Here you will find the bill with its accompanying explanatory notes and explanatory speech. You can use the Queensland Parliament website to find explanatory notes and speeches in this manner as far back as 2009. However, you can also use the Queensland Legislation website to find explanatory notes, as well as to find out whether a section of legislation has been amended, or if and when it was inserted, and locate historical versions of acts. We will return to the Queensland Parliament site later, but let's have a look at the Queensland Legislation website. There's often a little going back and forth between different websites for different information, but that's just the world of legislation. The section we are interested in is Section 132 A of the Evidence Act, dealing with admissibility of similar fact evidence. Go to Enforce Legislation and locate the Evidence Act within the alphabetical list. Scroll down the left-hand menu and open up Section 132 A. If you do not see any annotations at the bottom of the screen, make sure that the history notes are turned on. Once you turn them on, you should now see the annotations. Now you can see that this section was inserted in 1997 by Act Number 3 of that year at Section 122, Schedule 2 of that Act. There doesn't appear to be any further amendments. You might want to find out the reason for this insertion of Section 132 A. To do this, click on the hyperlinked 1997 number 3, or even better, open it in a new tab. We find out that it is the Criminal Law Amendment Act 1997, which has inserted Section 132 A into the Evidence Act. Select Legislative History to locate the explanatory notes. You will also notice that the bill was introduced on the 4th of December 1996. This will be handy information that we can use later. We will have to go back to the Queensland Parliament website to find the introductory or second reading speech, but while we are on the Queensland Legislation site, we can still find some other useful information. The commencement date is often, but not always, set out in Section 2 of the Act. Open up the PDF and scroll until you find Section 2. It says Section 121 commences on the date of assent, and that the rest of the Act commences on the date which is yet to be proclaimed. You can also see from the previous title page that indicates the assent date is the 3rd of April 1997. Scroll down to Section 121 to find out whether it has anything to do with the insertion of Section 132 A into the Evidence Act. If so, then the commencement date for Section 132 A will be the 3rd of April 1997. Looking at Section 121, we can see that it deals with something different, so we can have to use another way to find the commencement date. Go back to the tab where you still had Section 132 A of the Evidence Act open. Select Legislative History from the menu. Then click on List of Legislation and Amending Legislation. This list is in chronological order, so all you have to do is scroll down until you find the entry for the Criminal Law Amendment Act 1997. You will find that it confirms the assent date as being the 3rd of April 1997 and also indicates the remaining provisions commenced on the 1st of July 1997. There is also a link to the subordinate legislation, which is usually the proclamation containing the same information. So you can be safe to regard 1 July 1997 as the date that the new 132 A of the Evidence Act commenced. All we need to locate now is the introductory or second reading speech. Let's return to the Queensland Parliament site. On the Queensland Parliament site, select Advanced Search on the upper right-hand side. This will take you to an advanced search template. Select Search Hansard, and this will open up a date menu. Earlier we learnt that even though the Act was passed in 1997, the bill was introduced in 1996. With this in mind, select 1996. In the exact phrase field, enter Criminal Law Amendment Bill. It is very important to remember to use bill rather than act. Scroll down and hit search. You will find one result. This is because it was only introduced late in the year, otherwise you may have more results to check. Open the PDF and you will need to use the Control F find function to locate the start of the speech. And here it is. These speeches usually begin with the words, "that the bill be now read a second time."
Thank you for watching this video. You can find more videos like this one on the Supreme Court Library's YouTube channel. If you have any further questions about legal research or using the library's resources, please don't hesitate to contact the library via email or our online form.